Hi, everybody, and welcome to Connecting ACO Community. My name is Derek Bermel, and I'm the Artistic Director of the American Composers Orchestra. And Connecting ACO Community is made possible by a lead gift from Augusta Gross and Leslie Samuels, with an additional gift by Marilyn Go. And we want to thank them so much for getting us started for this exciting project. And we want to thank Silas Brown, our unofficial advisor, as well as the staff of ACO, Lindsay Working, Aiden Feldkamp, Jay Jang, Stephanie Polonio, Jay House, and of course, Ed Yim, our president. And today's edition is especially exciting. It features Ethan Iverson and Miranda Cuckson. And hi, Ethan. Hi, Miranda. How are you? They're here.
Yep, great.
Good, yeah, thanks.
And their collaboration is funded by an anonymous donor, so we'll never find out who that is. But in any case, I do know the title of the piece, which is Tempo Giusto. And to our audience, I want to let you know that you can use the chat button at the bottom of your screen to talk to each other during the premiere. So you can have whatever banter you want going on. And in addition, you can also use the Q&A button, which is also located at the bottom of your screen. And that will allow you to ask questions after the performance, so to our composer and our performer. So we're going to start off with a couple of questions for the composer. And at this point, Miranda will vanish to the virtual green room where she will connect all her microphone and various materials here. But so Ethan, let's start off with you. Tempo Giusto, what does that mean to you? And you chose an Italian title, but it has a musical meaning or several musical meanings.
Yeah, I thought in this moment there's this opportunity to maybe do something a little lighthearted. You know, it's sort of like the quarantine. We're all sort of alarmed, but I thought let's do something kind of funny and lighthearted. And I've always been amused by the sort of old Italian tempo marking, which doesn't mean more than play at the right time. And, you know, musicologists debate what Chopin or Brahms meant by this marking, but in a certain way, it's also sort of obvious. I like the idea that it's a bit obvious, like, well, just play it at the right time. So that's why I called this piece, you know, play it at the right time.
So it's kind of specific yet vague.
Yes, I wanted Miranda to have plenty of leeway as a performer to sort of do whatever she felt like with this piece. The piece is, it's tonal, it's dance-like, it's a little flamboyant. I like the solo violin music of Bach and Asai, and you know, in these cases, it's up to the violinist to, shall we say, make sense of the solo piece. And I wrote something that I hoped, you know, Miranda would make sense of, and she really has. It's really an honor to work with someone like Miranda, of course.
Now, a lot of people will know you as a great performer or pianist. Other people will know you as a writer from your blog, but some will not know you as a composer. So what about this project allowed you to flex some compositional muscles?
ACO has been really great to me, I have to say, Derek, and thank you, Ed, and everybody else. ACO gave me a shot at writing a piano concerto 2 years ago called Concerto to Scale, which I would say stylistically is pretty much in the same wheelhouse as Tempo Giusto today. And I am a jazz pianist, first and foremost. If you woke me up in the dead of the night and said, Ethan, what are you? You only can say one thing. I would say, I'm a jazz pianist. Derek, I promise I'm a jazz pianist. At the same time, I've been very passionate about classical music a long time, and I've had, for a jazz pianist, quite alarming amount of professional experience with classical music, especially in the dance world. I was Mark Morris's music director for 5 years. I've written dance scores. I played a lot of it. So I guess I'm feeling now a real call to sort of unite these disciplines in composition. A lot of people say that, but it's actually, the further along this path I get, the more I am committed to nurturing my voice as a composer of formal music.
Wow. Well, we're happy to have you on board here, and thanks for being one of our 2 guinea pigs for the first session. Although if I can include myself, then I'll be a 3rd guinea pig here. Well, let's get to the premiere of Tempo Giusto, and let's see whether Miranda has emerged from the green room with all her microphones intact and everything. So we'll have to give her the thumbs up to let her know, since she probably can't hear us at this point.
We're ready? Let's do it.
There.
This is Tempo Giusto by Ethan Iverson.
Yay!
Wow, that was really exciting.
Fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miranda, and thank you so much, Ethan. Terrific. That was the world premiere that we just heard of Tempo Giusto by Ethan Iverson, performed here on violin by Miranda Cuckson. And this is the first of our Connecting ACO Communities commissions. And so we're very excited today about the launch of this project. Brava, Miranda. Wow.
I just have to say something right away, which is that I'm literally crying right now. You played that so beautifully. So thank you, Miranda. Really just fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ethan, how did you get to know Miranda, and what drew you to her playing? She's such a fabulous player, as we know, but what made you want to write for her?
Yeah, I think poor Miranda's there trying to find her button to turn her video on. I had a similar problem. So, oh, there she goes. Aha, there you go. Hello. That was amazing. We've all been complimenting you the last
thank you, Miranda.
5 minutes. That was incredible.
Thanks. Very fun.
Yeah, Ethan. So you were telling us how did you meet Miranda, and then how did you start thinking about the idea of writing for her?
Well, I just was a fan. You know, Miranda's prominent in new music circles. So I'd been to concerts and heard records, and then I never lacked for gumption. And I just one time said, well, I practice classical music. Are you willing to play some of this stuff with me sometimes? Because we actually share an interest in mid-century American classical music. and we've played the music of Louise Talma and George Walker together. Great composers. I like that stuff. She likes that. She's recorded it. Some incredible records of
You played it at my house.
various.
I remember. It was terrific.
Yes, in fact, we played it at Argyle Street, the famous club. Yeah.
Yeah, that famous club in Brooklyn, right?
And so, but then ACO, I mean, I've actually had trouble working during the quarantine. And it's actually been great, ACO, to say, hey, why don't you do something? It was really inspiring, like, oh, okay, an actual project. And the first thing I thought of, right, for someone solo, I thought, well, maybe Miranda would agree to do it. So it was pretty natural, really.
Yeah, tell us about that. Tell us about the quarantine blues. I mean, how is that? Because it seems like some artists are incredibly inspired by the quarantine and, you know, having all this time to create without touring time. But a lot of artists that I've talked to have been the opposite. They've found it really hard to get started and feeling very down and feeling a lack of motivation. So tell us about that.
Well, my back went out last week. You know, I think a lot of us are physically weird. I know Miranda was not feeling so good for a minute. She didn't have COVID, right? But you?
Pretty sure not. I think I just had a cold, but I think just with everything going on, it's just so hard to shake it off because you just feel like, what is it? And like you're surrounded by illness and tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so Ethan, can you tell us a little bit about what did you come up with the title first, or did you come up with the? I'm also fielding some questions. We have some questions coming from the audience here, from our virtual audience. So a lot of people want to know about how you came up with, you know, the title and what that means. And I actually I'm gonna take you up on that. Lack for gumption. I think that should be a title of a piece if it inspires you. But anyway, tell us about Tempo Giusto.
Well, the first thing I thought of is you got to play it in at least if I'm going to write it, you want to play in a violin-friendly key. So I thought D major. I know D major works for violin.
Good.
And I know, I haven't played violin, but I know that the open strings are the certain open strings. And just immediately, some ideas started coming to mind. Also because I like a hoedown. Now, between a virtuoso violin piece and a hoedown is sort of where I'm trying to land Tempo Giusto. And I think I was playing through some Chopin waltzes, and one of the famous Chopin waltzes is marked Tempo Giusto. And I just thought that was great because Chopin is almost being snarky. You know, he's almost like, either you get this or you don't. I'm not going to help you out too much. And so I thought it would be a good title, you know, for something for Miranda.
And you mentioned that you were inspired by works of Bach. One of the audience members caught that and was interested in, you know, the solo violin writing of Bach. What did you can you tell us about that?
I have a jazz anecdote for you.
Okay.
Because I am a jazz artist first and foremost, but there's a club in New York City called Smalls. It's a little basement on West 10th Street. And the original owner was Mitch Borden, and he played violin badly. I mean, he sort of, but he would be out there playing excerpts from Bach, and we'd all sort of admire it in a way. And I went in for the sound check one time, and this great record was on a stereo of actually Joseph Szigeti playing the G minor Bach suite. And I thought, this is incredible. And I asked Mitch, what is it? And he said, oh yeah, Szigeti's my man. So that day when there used to be a Tower Records, I went straight over there from soundcheck and bought this G minor Bach with Szigeti because of the jazz cat that told me. So.
Okay, and Szigeti also commissioned Bartok's Contrast, so he was a big new music fan too. One of our listeners has asked which Chopin waltz you were referring to when you mentioned Tempo Giusto.
There's a famous C-sharp minor one.
Ah, okay, all right. Miranda, can we pick up here? And a lot of people are really interested to know what your challenges were in learning this piece, and also just, you know, what it was like to get this new piece, have to learn it quickly. And did you have questions for Ethan during the process?
Well, I guess, I mean, I played it, he wrote it quickly, and then I played it for him maybe a few days after I got it. And I mean, the piece was basically there, but maybe it was a little bare bones in terms of like any other sort of the kind of markings composers put in sometimes to give you some idea of like the feeling of it or the dynamic shape or whatever. So I sort of wanted to try some things out, see if I was, you know, just in terms of the feeling of it and yeah, how I was going to shape it. And I added a few things like slurs and trills and things. He was very game for all that.
I actually make a note in the score that Miranda edited it. You know, she made it violinistic, you know.
Yeah, I tinkered with it, you know. But yeah, I was just sort of getting how all the, you know, it's like in these sections that there are some sequences and things like that, sort of how to get it all rolling in an effective way and to build up to these climaxes with double stops and so on. And then you have the chorale and the back. So just like kind of getting a good flow to all these sections and all the different kinds of material.
Miranda, you've done so much contemporary music. You've premiered concertos by composers written especially for you. You perform sonatas. You regularly tour. You play in a lot of different ensembles with a lot of different as a soloist, chamber music. You work with the American Modern Opera Company. Can you tell us a little bit about all these projects and just is about your process of learning music and how you approach with various composers? I mean, can you think of some anecdotes?
Oh, gosh. Well, maybe an anecdote will come to me, but I guess, I mean, when you're describing all these things, I guess like a key to me is like, I thrive on the variety of getting into all these different composers' worlds. And so I love kind of just being given something and having to dive in and see what strikes me first, and then what do I need to figure out, and what do I need to ask, or just what inspiration do I get, and just that whole process always really excites me. So I suppose that's why I do this a lot. And I like doing, also I love all the different kinds of groups and formats. They just all have their different challenges. Yeah.
Great. Well, and Ethan, can you, there's one question has come up actually from a composer, Inti Figes-Vizueta, who's asked, what is the difference between a hoedown and a hootenanny?
It's a very good technical question. You know, let me research that for a while in the Library of Congress. I'll get back to that. But that's
all right. Inti, you have
question.
officially stumped Ethan Iverson. That is a hard thing to do. For those of you who read his blog, which has a lot of terrific writing on all kinds of things from jazz to contemporary music to politics and everything else. Well, this has been really, really exciting. I mean, this is the first, as many of you know, of our series, Connecting ACO Community, and we are going to do 6 more of these performances coming up in the next few weeks, and after that, perhaps more. And but I want to let everybody know that next week we're going to have Sharon Nova and Aya Simone premiering this new work by Shara. And so for more information on the schedule of Connecting ACO Community, you can go to the website for American Composers Orchestra, which is americancomposers.org. And you can watch us again on Music on the Rebound. So tune in for that if you want to hear Ethan's piece again, if you want to hear Miranda play Ethan's piece again. And I've heard that there's talk of a virtual tour going on between you two. Is that for sure, or we don't know? We're just there's some buzz about it.
Yeah, we heard rumor that we're going to get to have another gig this week already. So you never know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll go from there.
Yeah, you'll never want to leave the house again. Well, Thank you. Some folks are wondering whether this is actually my house. I decided to go colorful here and have an abundance of fruit behind me, but it's actually the fruit market in Madeira, the island. But it is not actually my house. Unfortunately, we are not that stocked up. But everybody, I want to wish our audience by the way, we've gotten a response. A hoedown is a dance social, while a hootenanny is more of a folk country multi-performer jam session, I think, says one of our audience members. So that's what we've got for you. And I want to thank you both so much for launching us in such a vibrant way. And thank you to the audience. And please watch it again on Music for the Rebound. And please be here next week when we continue with Connecting ACO Community. Thank you so much from staff of ACO and from the orchestra and from all of us here at Connecting ACO Community.
Thank you. Great.
Thank you.